Alrighty, hey there everyone. We are back with some more hardcore Minecraft. Yesterday we built out an entire guardian farm and got some waypoint stuff set up, and today we are going to try and not use any coordinates at all, so we've only got our day counter. We've got some points of interest we can go to, but otherwise we are kind of on our own just to see what it's like. Beyond that, I'm kind of taking it a little bit more laid back today. I want to build a froglet farm in the near future, but I'm kind of like needing to get other things for that first, and I'm trying to get like a good enough design that I want to use for like a basalt delta froglet farm instead of a magma cube spawner froglet farm. So it's taking me a little bit of time. But once we get that going, then it'll be pretty easy. Otherwise today, yeah, we're just gonna try and round up a bunch of animals because we can, and really that's kind of all I'm looking to do at the moment. So we'll see what we do. We'll probably build out some stuff with some sniffers and some moss and all that kind of good stuff. So let me pop on down into here. Okay, a little too far down, but that's alright. Got our lodestone there, of course, pointing to our base. And we really ought to clean all this crap out at some point too. It's been too long. Yeah, we'll do that one day, I'm sure. Probably. That's a lie. I won't touch it at all for years. But nah, unironically we will at some point. Um, trying to think. Oh, right. Let's take some of this stuff out with us. And let's see here. We've got a couple extra materials and whatnot that we can use. Good stuff. But for right now, let's just drop off some of these trims. We'll put them... we'll put them like there. Boom, there's a coast. And then there's a tide. Just so we can start filling that out even more. And we need to get some packed mud. Luckily we've got a little bit of mud, but we're going to need to go get some wheat too. Actually, I think I've got some. Let's go ahead and grab a couple of things. So we want some moss carpet, we got some mud, we need some wheat or hay bales to turn it into packed mud. Hay bales it is. There we go, do a little something like that. And let's go ahead and sit down for a second and think about what we want to do. So, I guess I don't really know where I want the sniffers to go. I know I want them, but I don't know where. I've talked about kind of sealing this whole little thing off. Still do that, it could still be quite useful, but I guess let's just go pop down and see what we've got. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up doing. What we're going to do is we're going to carve the walls out a little bit more on these, and we're just going to make it a little bit taller, maybe flatten out some of the edges and all that kind of stuff, so it's just this large, like, pit, and then we'll cover the roof with, like, I don't know, we'll cover the roof with glass or something. We'll figure out what specifically, but, we'll see. But for right now, let's just go ahead and try and stick with the terrain itself and see what we can cook up here. Wish we got a good old horse here. Oh. God, this has been here the whole time, huh? There we go. Do a little something like that. We've got some leftovers from when we used to have all of our animals here a very long time ago. And a bunch of leads. I don't know why I left so many here. And hey, we got some extra hay. Nice. Good stuff. I think they're changing the name to straw bales in like one of the upcoming updates here. Probably in a couple weeks, so that'll be interesting to see. You know, we'll just pop that out. Boom, there we go. And I think it's time we, just for right now, we just seal this off, you know. This isn't particularly important at the moment, and it kind of gets in my way for the time being. So, I always dig out another tunnel if we need to. Guess we're gonna need that dirt back after all. But yeah, general life update stuff. Still waiting to hear back about that first screening interview that I did a couple of days ago. Probably going to take a little bit since they have other people they got to interview and all that stuff. But again, pretty confident I know where it's headed, so I'm not too worried about it. But doesn't mean I got to doesn't mean I get to quit trying. You know, I still got to keep applying for more jobs and all that kind of good stuff. So still taking up some time out of my day, but not too much, luckily. But yeah, I'm really hoping I get this job. It would make life way easier to be able to kind of go back and do this kind of work again, and just being able to have, I guess, the opportunity to work in a more private company again instead of public. Seriously, just not cool stuff, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure it'll be fine either way. Yeah, do something like that. Alright, and this is the annoying part where we get to determine how the hell we want to cover something like this up. So I think what we're going to do is very simply we're going to cut down all the fences here to where it is flat. And then we are just going to cover this whole thing up. I guess it's not actually too bad, but still a little weird. Of course, we'll have to pop underground real quick to put in some good lighting. There we go. A little bit more lighting. And I'm not going to do any more than that because I know my ass is going to get sidetracked, so let's not get sidetracked. Alright, there we go. Cover all this up. And yeah, today's just going to be more of a chill day, so got a good bit of building done with that Guardian farm for like 3 hours, so cross another one off the bucket list. There we go. Just leave that there. Nobody cares. Alright. Alright, there we go. So this gives us a nice sized pit here that we can work with. What we really ought to do is go get some bone meal and then go plant in some moss, and then we can cover this whole floor a lot quicker. And then I want all of these sides to be made out of packed mud. Some moss carpet. There weren't some hay bales in here. Those were just the hay bales that I'd already brought over, weren't they? Yep, that sounds about right. Alright, let's see here. Got that. Boom, boom, boom. Packed mud. Wow, this stuff is expensive. Good lord, that is annoying. So yeah, if we want to cover all of the walls with packed mud, that is gonna take a little while. That would be worth doing it at that rate. We could just leave it as dirt, but we'll figure it out. I'm not gonna sweat it for right now. We'll come back to that a little later. That is something we will have to do. And let's pop up and get some bones. Or bone meal, either or. Bones it is. Yep, alrighty. Yeah, we'll just pearl right on down there. There we go. Nice and easy. Alright, so with some of this, make some bone meal. We'll put some of these extras away for right now since we don't really need them at the moment. We'll just stick with 3 stacks of bone meal. We'll carry a stack of bones though. Alright, let's see here. Moss blocks. There we are. Alright, and this should be pretty easy. So it's literally just go through, bone meal everything. Probably have to place it in a good bit of water, a lot of this stuff, but we will figure that out over time. Alright, for now, let's just, focus on getting everything bone mealed and cover that whole floor with moss. And, yeah, should be nothing too bad. Oh, you're not leaving. Stand right there, badass. There we go. Other moss carpet. Okay. Got a little hard to tell for a second there. And that was just regular old moss. Damn, alright. Ooh. Alright, well, we are nearly done. That actually did it. Let's go ahead and get our water. I got mostly everything. Right, nice. That gets us a nice flat moss floor. And I think we still have a little bit of stuff that needs to be redone underneath some of these blocks, so we're not quite out of the woods yet here, but we have done most of the work, so good stuff. Yep, sure enough. Goes there, that goes there. There. Wait it now. No. There we go. Nice, good little flat area. One of these was an empty box. There we go. We can dump some of the excess stuff that we've got now into that empty box. Should go just fine. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we are going to replace the top layer of dirt on each of these with moss because I quite like how that looks. So go ahead and get rid of as much of this as we can. I think we're going to go for a solid border, so no weird non-touching diagonals kind of deal, you know. Figure it out, it's fine. Do a little something like that. Almost done. Yeah. I'm not talking a whole lot. Not really a lot to say today, but that's okay. Sometimes it's good just to be a little quiet, you know? An Enderman nearby. Much longer though. Oh, he left. Never mind. You heard me threaten him when he left. Smart guy. Alright, there we go. That should complete a nice little loop the whole way around. He did not learn his lesson. No, he's dead. Yep, some of that moss on me. What was I thinking? Ah, it's okay. There we go. I guess that some of these have target. Weird. That should be a little better. Let's see. Something like that. There we go. Alright, cool. Put a torch there. Nice. So again, everything's moss. I've got a good idea of what we're gonna do. We're basically gonna cut all of the dirt out here, and we're gonna put in a bunch of packed mud. For the sake of packed mud, I might actually have to look into having an automated villager-based wheat farm, you know, or at least making a micro farm. I haven't made one of those in a very long time, but I gotta have some way to get a hold of a bunch of wheat quickly without just having a bunch of fields, you know, because they take time to plant and you know they look cooler rather than just trying to take them for their wheat, you know. That's why I don't really harvest a lot of my crops here too often. I only harvest them if I need them for animal stuff and I'm right there in the area, but otherwise, kind of just let it be, you know. All right, let's see here. Place in what we can. See how much this actually takes up. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it really contrasts a lot nicer against the moss because it's got a lighter color than dirt, I think. A little stupid today, but it's some nice stuff. I really like the look of it. So yeah. Let's see here. Plant those guys in there. Let them start hatching. Still got the mud, but we don't have the wheat. Well, I mean, we've got some wheat, but say, why can I not pack cook pack mud in there? But cook, craft, same thing. You know what I meant. No. Oh, I'm gonna get right in the way because I'm a fucking horse. Oh, get out of the way, fat ass. Horse. Well, that's okay. Bound to happen at some point. Have enough weed. I think we only really need like half a stack more, so we don't really need too much. Right, let's see here. I do have some extra, but I haven't harvested stuff in a long time, so you know. All right, I get how it is. We're not going to use fortune on the wheat since it doesn't affect the actual wheat drops, only the seeds, and I'm kind of good on seeds, so I don't need to really concern myself with that anymore. I got a little bit of wheat, but we need more than that. There we go. That's better. Alright, we'll dump all these away. There we go. And we can head out back. We need to take some of our birch or oak stairs and make this into a proper walkable path, you know? Gotta remember to do that in the near future. Right, there we go. Take this and we'll move it down finally. We would have thought that one out a little bit better, but that's okay. And we'll just keep the rest of this shit in here. We don't really need to concern ourselves with taking any of this stuff out. We'll just say it's important for decoration, and so that way I have an excuse to ignore it. But that'll be fine. There we go. Alright, good. Alright, cool. These guys will hatch over time, like they should. And get that put away. Now we're gonna head on over to the trading hall with our empty shoulder box and go trade for some glass. Don't need a whole lot of glass, but enough to cover that whole thing, so probably about 8 stacks or so, I'd say, be good. We'll see what we get. And we've already got some emeralds there too, so this shouldn't really cause many issues, luckily, but you know. We're on day 1067. We are getting close to day 1100. Making some good progress. Still need to replace all this grass with something at some point. I still don't know what that would be. Well, we'll get there one day. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, we have a little bit, but not a lot. Alright, let's just grab all of our emeralds and get ready to start trading here. Blast. There we go. You're dead weight because you suck. Forgot about that. Yeah, that'll help us on glass for a little while. Good. I don't think we ought to do any dyed glass for right now. Just not really feeling it at the moment. So we'll just kind of leave it as regular old glass, you know? There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Got the edge a little bit. It's bound to happen sometimes. Alrighty. Let's see. We have more than enough to do what we gotta do. I don't know if we want it to be like a flat plane or if we want it to match where the moss is. Let's just have it be a flat plane. Let's just keep it kind of simple. It would be easier to morph the terrain to match versus trying to morph the glass to match, so. we doing on glass? Pretty good. Would be fine to get all this built up. Still have a little bit extra in our filter box if we need it, but I doubt that we will. Take that back. There's a good chance that we will, but only a little. Short. Yeah, tough. Alright. Back one. Finish up with one moment. It's another 50 bucks a month I gotta do. Dang. They finally settled on the credit cards that I have yet to pay off, so that's good. That'll be fully done and paid off by August of next year. Only 50 bucks a month until it's done, so I'm gonna probably end up paying that thing off a lot quicker, but kind of have to get another job for that first, right? So we'll see what happens. But okay, let's go ahead and actually do something a little different here. Like those sniffers attached. Might have overshot a little bit here, but that's okay. No, we're trying to leave, dickhead. Alright, let's see here. So, off of this, we're looking for those fence gates. Did I ever have fence gates here? I don't actually know if I did. We should have built it down a little bit more because our head's hitting the ceiling. Damn it. Well, that's a little annoying. Oh, especially because this seems like a great thing that's going to happen once this guy decides he wants to grow up. Yet. That's annoying. Should have thought of that when I was here. Alright, well, okay. Look, let's not be too downbeat about that. Let's go ahead and get some wood. Be able to do 3 fence gates. We're gonna seal that off for right now. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and take this back with us and let's see, we've got some packed mud. Yeah, we've got a little bit from what we just mined, but we should have a little more from what's left in here. You just know how to get right in the way, don't you? Every time, huh? There we go. That's better. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. I know what I want to do. So, it involves, unfortunately, taking down the entire glass roof that we just put in. Because of course it does. So, we will work on getting that set back up, but that's going to take time. Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here and go get all that fixed. There we go. Grab more moss. I knew this wasn't going to be enough. I don't know why I didn't grab it. It's fine. Alright. And then some of these weirder gaps we'll fill in with dirt and all that good stuff, so it won't look so awkward. Okay. Now here comes the fun part where we try to mine a shit ton of glass that you can't insta-mine. Because why would you want to insta-mine glass? What idiot would want that, you know? Damn. Alright. It shouldn't take like that long if I'm gonna be real here, but it still is annoying though that you can't insta-mine glass. Could just take some TNT and blow it all up, and then that would do it, but that also feels like a cop-out, so I'm doing that. already got it on me. Oh wait. Alright. We will go ahead and put that there. Trying to drop off all that glass the best we can. Get out of the way. Stupid ass horse, man. They just do not know how to stop being annoying. And see, the snifflet is called the snifflet, and explicitly called the snifflet because they didn't want to call it the baby sniffer because, gee, I wonder why. But on the other hand, it's obviously the baby sniffer, so, you know. Making good headway on all this glass, but again, it's glass, it takes a while. I mean, just kind of how it is, unfortunately. Need to make some more packed mud to fill in the rest of the gaps, but we'll get there eventually. Alright, well, we're almost done at least. Not too much more to go now. I think we're gonna leave it as an open pit for right now. You know, I don't really feel too bad about leaving it open, and I'm still kind of on the fence on whether or not I want the glass dyed, so I don't want to have to just keep like breaking and replacing all this glass, you know? So, we'll leave it broken, we'll sit on it in a couple of days, figure out what we actually want to do with it eventually, and then, you know, see what happens, so, can't be too bad. Alright, and there we go. Got all the glass taken out finally. It's all good. Yep, there we go. Alright, and let's see here. Got some mud there, some wheat there, more packed mud. And this should be a pretty quick and simple swap. There we go. Alright, so that should cover us. That'll give us a nice little pit. It's also really weird though that like these are the only ones that are this high up. Like literally just these 4 blocks, so I guess we'll go ahead and get that switched out. Go, we'll do something like that, I think. That'll be good. There we go. That gets us a nice easy way up and down. That's all we really want. And we can trim out this top bit. And boom, there we go. Alright. Nice pit for them to be in. Shouldn't really cause any issues. And of course we can still have some extra storage and crafting stuff here, so yeah, good work. Believe it or not, I think that's going to do it for me today. It's been about an hour and I just kind of not feeling it right this second, if I can be perfectly honest, so I don't think I've eaten anything yet today either, which is probably part of the reason, but, you know, if I had to guess, but, you know, we will do more another time. I do like that you got them all set up. They're all hatched. They're growing. They're little guys. Don't really know what I want to do next time, but we'll figure it out, I'm sure. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all again soon. Bye-bye.